Welcome to Life Changing Money, a podcast all about one of the most taboo topics in the world, money. I'm your host, Barbara ShREE-hands, and we're going behind the scenes on business owners' journeys to money, success, and wealth. Let's get started. Well, I'm so excited to introduce today's guest, Molly Nutt. Molly is a 27-year-old entrepreneur running not one, but 3 businesses. She must be crazy. All focused on supporting women-led brands. She helps service providers and e-commerce brands master their email marketing, which is so important, you guys, to building a thriving community of female founders in Seattle through the CEO Society. Oh, I love that name.
Thank you.
Molly is all about empowering women to succeed, which you guys all know that I love. And I can't wait for you to hear everything she's going to talk about today.
Thanks for having me.
So welcome to the show.
So fun.
She walked in and I heard you have big news.
Big news. I'm engaged.
She's engaged.
Yes. So happy.
Okay, so you just like randomly booked a trip to Mexico, or how are you in Mexico?
Yeah, it was his 30th birthday. So we were like, let's go celebrate. Let's have a trip to Mexico. It was also our 5-year anniversary, and we met in Mexico.
Oh.
So the stars were aligned for an engagement. Like,
yeah, you knew.
I knew for sure. Yeah.
Wait. Meeting in Mexico. I mean, I've met guys in Mexico.
Yeah. Everyone has.
Yeah, but I definitely didn't date them for 5 years.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 minutes.
Right? Yeah.
So tell me that story.
So I knew of him in college. I was friends with his younger brother, and I met him once in passing at a coffee shop. And so I knew he existed. And then we happened to be in Mexico at the same time, and we found out that our parents both had timeshares at the same resort for our entire lives.
Oh
and
my
our
God, you were meant to
crossed.
marry.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely insane. And so we're on the beach together the first day, and I'm like, older brother's kind of cute.
Oh.
Kind of like what's going on here. And so then we went on a booze cruise, sunset cruise.
As we all do.
Yeah. And we got
my friend made out with the guy that runs the booze cruise. Like
Love
the
it.
MC guy with the mic hyping the party.
Yep.
Oh, you too? Yeah. No, my friend definitely made out with that guy. Okay,
Love
so
it.
booze cruise.
Booze cruise, tequila was flowing. The tequila sunrises that are, bottomless.
Yes.
And made out and then hung out the rest of the night. Got my number. No, he followed me on Instagram.
Of course.
And the next morning I got that was fun, we should hang out again message.
Mm-hmm.
And that was 5 years ago. And now
How
we're
romantic.
engaged. I know. So fun. But yeah, we got there and I knew it was coming. I mean, we picked out the ring together like a month before, and like bought it together like a month before. So I was like, if you don't do it on this trip, like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, missed opportunity.
So was it like sunset, roses on the beach? Like what's
Wasn't
the
that
scene?
creative? We did do a sunset beach walk, and it happened then, but it was supposed to happen earlier in the trip. And we had like 9 days there. And we got food poisoning.
That's a long time in Mexico.
Yeah. We both work for ourselves, so like we have a lot of flexibility with, going anywhere and just working remotely.
Mm-hmm.
But we get there and 3 days in, we get food poisoning. And so we are just down and out.
Montezuma's revenge.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was revenge and hard.
Yep.
And so we were down and out for like 4 days, and it was the last night of our trip. And we're both finally feeling mostly better. And he was like, let's go on a sunset beach walk. And I was like, yeah, let's do that. And
so you do your hair and makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Also, when I see those photos and like the bitches are all done up in their white dress, I'm like, you didn't know? Like, come on.
Yeah. Luckily, I kept it pretty organic. I stayed pretty normal. But yeah, it was super sweet. And
Aww.
I definitely knew it was coming.
Did you cry?
Oh, I cried like a baby.
Aww.
Yeah. Just sobbing for like 5 minutes straight.
Do you have pictures? Like, was someone there to do pictures?
No. We took some photos together. It was like selfies, but
yeah.
I didn't want a photographer there. I didn't want anyone there. It was like just us on the beach and
Cute.
just super special.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, congrats.
Thank you so much.
Are you going to have like a long engagement?
I want to get married ASAP. We're looking at like this fall, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
in
we want to
Seattle?
get in Mexico.
Oh, of course.
Very on brand. Yeah.
When are you going to buy a house there?
Hopefully soon.
Yeah. What part of Mexico do you like to go to?
We've been all over, but Cabo has a special place in our hearts for sure. That's where we've been going since we were little.
We're about to book Cabo at the Waldorf Astoria because I've been to Cabo a bunch, and then whenever we've stayed in like these big like mansions there, and I always see the Waldorf, and they do these like amazing fireworks shows.
Cool.
So I think we're gonna stay there.
Yeah.
Soon. But okay, tell me about your 3 businesses.
Yeah, where to start? So my first business that is like my business baby is Acorn Digital Strategy. My last name's Nutt, so there's kind of that like thread of Acorn, and then Oaks is my other business. But Acorn I've had for a little over 4 years now, and we do copywriting and email marketing for female-founded businesses. We focus on copy that converts. So my whole goal is to make women more money, which I'm sure you'll resonate
We love
a lot
that.
with.
We love that.
Yes. And so we do sales pages and websites and email funnels, and then we do retainers where we manage email marketing for brands month over month. So it's been so fun. We work with a lot of coaches and consultants and service-based businesses with Acorn. Then my second agency, which is new this year, called Oaks Email Studio. We've been doing the services that fall under Oaks for years, but I just decided to separate the brands. I kind of think of them as like two departments under my company, because Oaks, we service e-commerce and direct-to-consumer brands specifically with email marketing. And email marketing, even though it's, email marketing for service or email marketing for e-commerce, it's email marketing, but it is so different. So just such different worlds. And so I separated the brands so we could better target the ideal customers.
Wait, so you have to talk to Emily, who you just saw in passing, because she has an e-commerce weight loss products brand.
Cool. Yeah, we work with a lot of like supplement companies and fitness brands and things like that. So I'll connect with her.
So how did you become a business owner, if I'm doing my math right, at like 22 or 3?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Did you go to college?
Yeah, I went to Central Washington, marketing major, digital marketing specialty. And then I started working at the T-Mobile headquarters here. And I was there for, 2 or 3 years. Started as an intern, then got a full-time job. I was working in corporate communications. And I learned so much, had a great team. It was such a great situation. But I just didn't want to climb the corporate ladder. I just realized pretty early on it wasn't for me. I just always felt like I was working harder, and then there was no promotion at the end of the road because, whether there's no budget or whatever it is, there's no position. And I've always kind of been entrepreneurial. In college, I would like design websites for family friends or do blogging or SEO stuff. And then I just decided to start doing it on the side. And it was a full year that I was doing side hustle while I was still in corporate. And I told myself as soon as I replaced my 9-to-5 income, then I would quit. And so that's what I did. So
that's what I did too.
Yeah.
I was in like public accounting and I started your tax coach to just pay off the rest of my student loans at the time. And then like I did that in a month and I was like, what the heck? Yeah. And so then I'm like, but I still kept my like regular job, and I was like, okay, then when it replaces my salary, and then I still stayed on till I like 5x'd my salary. I don't know why I stayed on so long. I was like so hard to cut the cord, but yeah, good job on you for replacing your income so fast.
Yeah.
It's funny that you are doing a lot of email marketing funnels because I host a mastermind group for like business owners that want to get to 7 figures. And I noticed literally out of the 16 members in there, like 2 of them do email marketing campaigns, and the rest like have no way to get people on an email list. They have like not even doing emails at all or newsletters. And I'm like, wait, what? I thought everyone did.
Oh, that breaks my little heart.
I know.
So like, much money left on the table.
Tell the people why they all need email marketing.
Oh my gosh. What camera do I look into? You need email marketing.
Yeah.
You absolutely need email marketing. Especially a lot of the people in the room, service-based businesses, I'm guessing that you're speaking to. Oh my gosh.
I know.
Especially if they're selling any types of digital products, or they're doing launches, or they have courses, or they have high-ticket retainers. Like, email marketing is the place to nurture your audience. I was actually listening to one of your old podcasts, and I was just scrolling through and I randomly clicked one, and I happened to listen to the one that you were saying that you started your email list before you even started your business. And I was like, okay, this was fate that I like picked this one to listen to.
I didn't even know like why I did that. Like it was meant
to be.
It was like a weird, I don't know why. I'm like, I think I need people to email if I'm going to sell things.
Yeah.
So,
well, you made the right decision. That's what everyone should do. But you were talking about in that episode how like if social media just disappears, you don't own it. And I mean, we're going through that with TikTok right now, right? Like you need somewhere that you own to send people. And email marketing is not only great because you own it, but it is an incredible tool for connection and storytelling. And that's one thing we focus a lot on with our clients is like how to nurture your customer for the long haul and keep them around for years.
Yeah.
Not just get them for the quick sale, right? Because that happens maybe on like an Instagram story with a low ticket offer. But if you're trying to sell high ticket offers consistently or a lot of digital products consistently, you need a big email list of people to send to. And you need to be nurturing them the right way. And it's such a missed opportunity if people aren't doing that.
Yeah, something we like just started implementing. So now our newsletter list, I think, is like almost 12,000 people, which is great. But it was historically, well, let me back up. When I first started it and I had no people working for me, it was just me doing everything. Yeah. I was telling stories because I'm like, I don't know what else to talk about, but I'm just going to talk about me. Yeah. And then it's like you slowly outsource it. And then we realized like, okay, it was all tax tips and tricks, which like people appreciate and need to know. But I was like, I don't write anything of the newsletters anymore, and I feel like I need to add in more stories. And so we started adding them back into our newsletters maybe like 3 months ago, and our open rate like got way bigger, which I think that's also the shift on Instagram right now too, is everyone needs to be telling more stories and selling less. Yeah,
totally. And that's something that we always tell our clients, and I give presentations all the time about email marketing. I always tell them to use the 80-20 rule. That's like such an easy thing to remember. 80% of the time you're nurturing and telling stories and providing value and educating. 20% of the time you're selling. And that might shift a little bit if you're doing live launches or like you're in the big sale period. You might be selling a lot more. But over the course of a year, about 80% of the content you send out needs to be valuable and educational. Because the more you're pouring into your audience and providing free value, when the time comes that they're ready to purchase something that you have to offer, they're going to feel a lot more confident. Right. Yeah. And it's going to be a lot easier of a sale. So that 80-20 rule is kind of like a gold standard that I try to stick to and with all the clients that we manage. But yeah, you're right. Especially as female founded brands or just founder led brands in general, you need to be talking about yourself. And like, even if like you have a whole team supporting you, it's not just you as your company, but like you're the face of it and people want to know about you and what you're doing and what you're up to.
So for the business owners that don't have a newsletter list, I'm going to call them newsletter lists, email marketing, same. What is a way that they can get people on their list?
Incentives, free value. So if you're a service provider, which I know most of your audience is, that normally comes in like free PDFs, free webinars, free trainings, or low ticket offers. Sometimes we've seen that having a low dollar amount associated with the resource to download or access, it actually gives you a better quality lead because they're putting a little bit of skin in the game, right? Yep. Some people just download 1 million freebies a year and then they just go to die in their downloads folder and then they're not engaged on your email list. But if you're growing your list with people that maybe purchase a $9 guide from you or $27 guide, they're going to be probably a better lead and maybe a more warm lead to actually move up into your offer suite and become a higher paying client. So free guides, free resources, free webinars, anything that answers questions that your ideal client has, and answers them in a way that's not Googleable. That's the caveat to it.
Yeah, like not ChatGPT answers. For the love of all things Jesus. Oh, I love ChatGPT, but we all know when those things are written from ChatGPT.
The adjectives. Yeah. All the adjectives. Oh, God. It's so bad.
Okay, so what platform do you like to use?
For email marketing?
Yeah.
It depends on the brand. The main one we use is Kit, which was ConvertKit. They just rebranded. It's an amazing platform for coaches, consultants, service providers, especially because it has integrated the ability to sell online products too if you want to and not do it through your website. Flowdesk is great if you're getting started. You're going to run into a lot of challenges if you're building more robust funnels and automations.
That's why we switched. So when we started, we were the Flowdesk, but now we use GHL. Go high level.
Yeah, love it. That's great, especially as you start building out more automations. Yeah, and you sell digital products and stuff like that too.
Yeah. Okay, so they're starting to get people on their list. How often should they be communicating with them?
Yeah, I always say once a month is enough to not be forgotten. Twice a month is to stay top of mind. Once a week, you're crushing it. Normally for service providers, you don't need to do more than once a week unless you're doing a launch or like have an active sale period. For a lot of our brands, we're doing between 2 and 4 a month. 2's like kind of the minimum that we do.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to see a big bang for your buck with just 2 emails. E-commerce is a different story. We're sending like 12 campaigns a month to 16 sometimes.
Yeah.
But for service-based businesses, I would say aim 2 to 4 if you're able to. It's hard for new business owners that like are trying to wear a million hats at once.
Yeah.
But yeah, how many are you guys sending a month?
We're every Wednesday.
Beautiful. Yeah.
And unless we're in launch,
Yep.
and then they'll get like 5 a week.
Yep. Perfect.
But yeah, we try to do at least once a week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect. Then they look forward to it in their inbox every week too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What are some fun like things to add into newsletters? Like people are probably thinking, oh yeah, I can give them. Okay, I'm gonna think for like our real estate agent clients because we have a lot of them. They probably think, well, why do my homeowners want a newsletter from me?
Yeah.
What are some fun things they can add in?
Yeah. Realtors are one of the category of business owners that they probably don't need to be sending once a week. They can get away maybe with once or twice a month because they probably want to be sending like home updates, like business and community updates too. A lot of realtors that I've worked with, they want to do more of like showing that they're involved in the community and know what's happening in the community and kind of be like the person that people turn towards to know what's going on. But also like you need to be talking about your life. Realtors like is such a personal connection.
Yeah.
And so they need to feel like they know you and they trust you and that they like you and like they're interested and invested in who you are. That way they can feel more like that they're invested in them as the reader too, right? Like if you can open the door, be like, and what are you up to? Like, I just read this book. Have you ever read it? And like having those two-way conversations, it's possible in email marketing to like open up the door for a two-way conversation. So I think for realtors, they need to probably get outside their comfort zone a little bit and start sharing more about their personal lives.
Can you give us some stats on like open rates and clicks and all that kind of stuff? I don't know all the terminology because I don't do that in my company, but I know those 2 words.
Perfect. Those are great. Open rates, you should be shooting for over 40%. The industry standard, they say like above 25%, but if you're in the 20s, there's probably a little bit of a yellow flag that you should be looking at for engagement. Anything above 40, you're crushing it. A lot of our clients are sitting in like the 60 to 80% because they're female founded brands that are like our personal brands and people want to hear what they're up to, which is so fun to write for too. Click rates, normally we aim for like a 1 to 5%. And
tell people what that means because I bet some people don't know what that means.
Yeah, so how many people are clicking the emails? So a click rate is different than a click-through rate. Most email platforms give the high level of click rate. So that's how many people that you emailed clicked the email. Click-through rate is how many people that opened the email, not just received the email, how many of them clicked. So most of the platforms are just going to give you your click rate. So try to aim for like above 3%. It's going to be harder to get above the 5%, but especially if you are giving resources that your audience finds really valuable, or inviting them to book calls with you and you have really engaged audience. All these numbers are kind of ambiguous though, because if you have a list of 100 subscribers, you're going to have really high rates.
Yeah.
If you
the
have
bigger
a list,
your list gets, the lower the open rates are, and it makes me sad.
Always. But you should be doing consistent list cleaning. So going through your database and seeing who hasn't opened in 6 months and either sending them an automated sequence, letting them know that like, hey, we haven't heard from you in a while. You're going to be removed from the email list if you don't see this, kind of giving them that warning. We do that a ton with our e-com brands. But it's really powerful for service providers too, to be cleaning your list at least every 6 months.
So I've gotten those from e-commerce brands, like clothing companies or whatever. And I'm always like, they would never remove me from a list.
Oh, they would.
But they would?
Oh, yeah. But if you open
I'm like, this
email,
is like just to get me to open. So I'm not going to open. I like retaliate.
Yeah, delete it immediately.
Yeah.
But if you open the email and read it, then you'll stay on the list because like then you're considered re-engaged because you opened it. Okay. So the trick is just to delete it if you don't want to be on the list anymore. But yeah, you should be cleaning your list. Normally we recommend every 3 months of like checking in to see who's unengaged and removing them. So your open rates stay higher and your domain reputation stays higher. Because if you have low click rates consistently for a long time, your domain reputation is going to tank and you could end up in spam.
Yeah. So that was my next question is what if you're in like email jail?
We had one client that came to us in 2024. They were in a complete panic because if you remember in February of last year, there became a email marketing law change that you couldn't send from Gmail, like at gmail.com. You had to have like at acorndigital.com or whatever. And they switched from the Gmail to their brand domain, and they started sending emails to like their 40,000 subscribers without warming the domain, which means like over a series of 8 to 12 weeks, you should send to a really highly engaged audience. That's a really small list, and then slowly start expanding.
Yeah. So it sounds like you're talking about me. So last year we switched, not the domain name, I feel. I don't know. Paige could probably tell us better, but we switched, like, instead of, let's say, hello at, we switched it to, like, I don't know.
Info at.
Yeah, info at. And then we were like, oh my God, our open rate is like, it went from 59% to like 30. And I was like, what is happening? And we couldn't figure out. But then we realized what you were saying. You have to warm them up. And I was like, how do people know this?
It's terrifying when that happens. Like, this business owner messaged me in a complete panic on Instagram. Like, I never met her before. She was like, I found you on Instagram. Can you help me? Yeah. And I was like, let's get on a call tomorrow. Like, let's figure this out. Because with an email list of that size, they were monetized. Like, they were making a ton of money from their email list. And then all of a sudden they couldn't reach them.
Who has a 40,000 person list at Gmail? Right. Whenever I see a business owner and it's at Gmail, I'm like, you're not a real business owner.
I know, it was a bit of a red flag for sure, but I was like, we'll fix this. It'll be fine. We'll get there. So it took us like 4 months of account warming and like undoing what they did. Essentially, they tanked their domain reputation. And so we had to slowly, rewarm the list, rebuild the domain reputation. And now they're getting 60% open rates and they're monetizing from their email list again. Thank goodness. But I hear horror stories like that all the time. Terrifying.
Can you give us some copy tips?
Yes. So many. Where to start? So we specialize in sales copy. So sales pages and email funnels are like our bread and butter. We also do website copy, which is a little bit less like direct response, but still love it so much. The biggest thing that I always tell business owners is you need to listen to your ideal clients. A lot of us, especially in the era of ChatGPT, we just type out what we think our audience wants to hear without actually asking them what they need to hear, right? Like, in your onboarding questionnaires, in your discovery calls, in your, when you're done working with a client and have feedback forms, like, you need to be seeing how your ideal client is talking about their problems and how they're talking about how you solved them if you're doing the offboarding emails. It's just so important to listen to how they describe what they're going through. I was just talking with a client that we've been doing email marketing for a while, and we're talking now about redoing her website copy because she was like, I feel like I just talk to the emotional aspect of the services that I provide, right? Like I talk about the PAS model a lot, which is problem, agitate, solution. Identify the problem that they have, poke at it a little bit, identify how you're the solution. And her services page outlined beautifully the emotional transformation that she provides, right? Like, you don't have to be struggling with this anymore. I'm here to support you. But nowhere on her services page does she actually talk about what's included in her services, like details. And so I work a lot with business owners to like help them identify like what is the emotional aspect that you're selling, but what's the like tangible, logical aspect that you're selling. And when you're writing the copy, using words that your ideal client actually uses.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah. Something that we did at a mastermind event was, and it sounds so elementary, but ask each other about each other's businesses and write down exactly what the person was saying. So like one of my questions to them, because I'm in tax, was like, what makes you not want to switch accountants?
Yeah.
So that I could get those words from their mouth. And every one of them said, I think it's hard to switch accountants. And I just never thought of that before. And I was like, wait, but it's so easy. It's literally like a medical record. You sign a document and they legally have to send it. And then also nobody in the audience knew that either. They were like, wait, it's that easy.
Yeah.
But if you don't like get it from your clients, you're not going to know
exactly
the answers.
Yeah. So now you can produce a bunch of content around how easy it is.
Yeah.
And help them identify the solution to their problem, or the perceived problem that they have.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people listening are probably going to want to reach out to you and do their emails for them.
I would love to.
So where's the best place to find you?
Yeah, Instagram's where I'm most active. Our account is Acorn Digital Strategy NW for Northwest.
But you can work anywhere.
Work everywhere in the world. Yeah, it's so fun.
And Mexico.
We have clients internationally. We have clients across the country. It's been such an honor being able to work with so many incredible female founders.
Well, thank you for being here.
Yes, thanks
and
for
it was so
having
nice
me.
to meet you.
So good to meet you. This is so fun.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Life Changing Money. Don't forget to subscribe, and I would love if you left a review and shared it with your friends. See you next time.